Keep your horns high and heads banging for Jenn Mitchell in the 80sGasm.
Oh, gnarly!
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Welcome, everyone, to my New Year's Eve edition of 80sGasm. I'm your host, Jenn Mitchell, and by the end of this, maybe in just a few minutes, actually, I'm going to be very, very, very out of breath. This might be the only time you hear me talking relatively normally, although, when am I really ever normal? Let's just be honest about that. Today, I've selected a playlist that's going to keep everybody on their feet and in the mood to party for tomorrow night, so consider this a little bit of a warm-up. Now, I don't want to hear any lame excuses about, oh, I don't dance or anything like that. No, I only do slow dances. You're not going to get away with that kind of stuff on today's show. If my out-of-shape old ass has to get up and dance, so do you. So I'm going to give you some of the most popular moves from the 1980s, and you guys can just pick which one you want to try. Just don't hurt yourself over there, and if you're really uncoordinated, make sure you do it in an empty room where nobody can see you, preferably. That's what I plan to do, right? Okay, the first dance move you might want to try is called the safety dance, and you guys might remember that song from Men Without Hats. Kind of plop up and down as though you're doing squats up and down, and then do this thing that makes it look like you're voguing, but also kind of implement the whole YMCA thing. Just put your arms out, I don't know, flail them. I think it's pretty obvious to everyone I'm not exactly a dance instructor. Next dance move you can try is the Van Halen jump. Now, for any of you that remember that video from 1984, David Lee Roth just goes taking off and kicks his leg in the air and then touches it with his foot. You gotta be super limber and ready for this, though, because if you're not, you're gonna end up sitting on your chair and just lifting your foot to your fingertips. I might be cheating a little bit right now as we speak. Next dance move you can try is the worm. Look, just hump the ground, put your butt up in the air, and people will be impressed, especially if they've had a lot of drinks at the party. Alright, here's another dance move that people still do today, and that's called the Cabbage Patch. Do I really have to explain this one to everybody? Just make sure you don't hurt anybody in the process, because I've seen some really sloppy cabbage patches out there in my day, you know what I'm saying?
You can't touch this.
If your dance moves are a little bit more intermediate, you could try the MC Hammer. Pretend like you're one of those characters in Asteroid, just kind of moves digitally side to side, and you'll probably get it right there, see? Alright, the next one's called the Robot, but don't get it confused with the safety dance, because the Robot involves a couple more mechanical sort of moves. I don't know if David Byrne from the Talking Heads video for Once in a Lifetime is somebody that you should be taking dance tips from, but that's pretty much what he's doing throughout the entire video, and if he can do it, you can do it.
Break it down!
We could talk about breakdancing, but I'm pretty sure that you guys will probably be a total disaster at that. I don't mean to be rude about that or anything, but if you can't handle the robot, then don't even embarrass yourselves by trying breakdancing. I tried to do this once at my 8th grade dance, showing off in front of this guy that I really liked and everything, and I happened to be wearing a skirt that had Velcro up the side, and lo and behold, without me even thinking it through properly, I get down on the floor and start doing my whole breakdance thing, because I actually at one point was limber and in shape. And as soon as I did the first swirl around with my leg underneath my arms, I heard the 3 snaps of the Velcro just go and come right off. But you know what? He was still impressed anyways, but I don't think it had anything to do with my breakdancing. Last but not least, there is one icon from the 80s that people still learn to dance from today, and that would be Michael Jackson, and I think you all know the dance move I'm talking about. Oh yeah. This dance isn't for everybody either. I mean, I've seen people try to get away with doing the moonwalk by simply walking backwards and saying, "Oh, I'm Michael Jackson." No, you're not. Now is your time to stand up, show me, and show off to everyone what you've learned here from my little dance tutorial with Michael Jackson and Wanna Be Starting Something from his epic Thriller album from 1982. Alright, I'm just gonna give you a heads up though, there's 2 songs following this, so don't blow it all on Michael Jackson. Did I just make a pun? You know, with all of my dance delirium and excitement, I completely spaced the fact that we kicked off today's show with Prince and the New Revolution with Let's Go Crazy from their Purple Rain album from 1984. Hey! And here I thought drinking all of these jolts were going to help me just cruise to the show, but I don't think so.
Shalom.
So many great dance songs on that, it was really hard to pick one of them, but I did. Somehow I managed it. What I didn't, however, manage was standing in an upright position while dancing to Billy Idol's Dancing with Myself and Adam Ant's Goody Two Shoes. But I did bust a move from my chair with my heating pad on my back, so hey, that's saying something, right? And speaking of saying something, up after this quick word from our sponsor, I'll be bringing you more of your song requests on this very special New Year's Eve edition of 80sGasm with Jenn Mitchell on KRMARadio.com. I think I need another jolt. Or 10.
Are you tired of the music you hear on the radio? Since 2004, Arm the Pit has been promoting the bands the mainstream ignores. Visit armthepit.com today and discover your new favorite band.
Arm the Pit! Yeah! Sign up your fucking name and we'll make some noise!
I'm your 80s freak, Jenn Mitchell, bringing you Rick James' Super Freak by request for a very special listener out in Pennsylvania, and you know who you are.
Hey y'all, this is J-Ro. Home Depot called with my extra supply of rope and cat of nine tails.
And on an upcoming show, the rest of you will also get to know who that is. If you'd like to make a request for the show, all you gotta do is go to gasmswithjen.com and click on the sidebar where it says request a song. You can look at it like a game, just press the button and see what happens. And that reminds me, for those of you who might not be going out for New Year's Eve, I've got some suggestions of the top 10 1980s board games that you might want to pass the time with. The Pop-O-Matic game Trouble topped the list. Remember, it was the one that had the die in the center and you had to press that plastic dome on the top and then just move your pegs around the board? I had this game when I was a child, and to be honest with you, I just kind of enjoyed popping that over and over and over again. I didn't really move pieces or anything, and my parents were like, why did we buy this for her? The next game is Operation, but you've got to have a really steady hand to play it. And I also heard you had to have medical insurance to play it, but I could be wrong. Just remember, when you've got those little tweezers and you're trying to pull out the funny bone, and say you hit the side and the guy's nose lights up, all hell breaks loose.
It'll be anarchy!
I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, this game was kind of lame. It was called Hungry Hippos. Very, very easy ways to cheat on this game. All you had to do was pick up the game and slightly tilt it your way, get all the balls to roll underneath your hippo's mouth, and you kind of just won the game right there. But to be honest, how many times do you have to play this game? I mean, how hungry can the hippos really be? Come on now. For those of you who are a little bit more studious out there, not into popping dice or feeding hippos, spend hours of fun making everybody else look like a dumbass when you play Trivial Pursuit. Let's do some practice questions right now, shall we? What Spanish artist said he would eat his wife when she died? Let's try the category Geography. What is 15 meters high, 8 meters wide, and 240 kilometers long? Sounds more like a math question. I'm going to pass on this and go on to history.
Yeah.
The question is, which Italian leader was terribly afraid of the evil eye? Feeling like a dumbass yet?
Dumbass. Yeah. Dumbass.
Yeah, me too. Next category is sports and leisure. Screw that, I don't know anything about sports. Let's go on to the next one. Science and nature. What does the female praying mantis do after she's made love? Which nail grows fastest? What temperature does water boil at? Who discovered penicillin? Where is the smallest bone in the body? Who invented television? How much is a liter of water weigh? Head goes exploding!
Dumbass.
Okay, now we're on the entertainment category, and I think I might know something about that, although if all of you are listening to the show, you might question that too, but I got a great question for everybody. And not to show off, I even have the right answer to this one too, so haha. Which band put out a self-titled album in 1983 featuring Victor DiLorenzo on drums, Brian Ritchie on bass, and Gordon Gano on lead vocals? If you guess the Violent Femmes, then...
You are correct, sir.
But can you guess the title of one of their hit songs from that album? Here's a hint. Off their 84 album, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, was Frankie Goes to Hollywood with Relax, and before that we heard ABC with Poison Arrow. Two great dance songs to keep the party going, so up after this break, and word from our sponsor, we're going to keep busting a move and busting out more of your song requests. More of 80sGasm's New Year's Eve show with Jenn Mitchell is on its way on KRMARadio.com.
It's back, the legendary Screamer magazine. Born on the streets of LA in 1987, Screamer brought you some of the biggest names in metal long before their rise to superstardom. Bands like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Skid Row, Warrant, LA Guns, and Faster Pussycat. Now it's back, covering a whole new generation of music. At ScreamerMagazine.com, not only can you read and hear interviews with some of today's hottest bands, you can also download copies of vintage Screamer magazines and experience the LA metal scene of the 80s up close and personal. Log on to ScreamerMagazine.com now and receive a free magazine download just for registering. ScreamerMagazine.com, still the loudest mag on the planet.
That's it.
By request, that was Morris Day and the Time with Jungle Love, going out to a listener in Wisconsin. If you have a song request, please leave it on my site at gasmswithjen.com. Let's keep this dance party going and whip out our sticks. 1984, Glamorous Life, Sheila E. Hit it. From the Perfect 10 soundtrack from Less Than Zero, that was the Bengals with Hazy Shade of Winter, although something tells me no one out there is feeling hazy right now, unless you've had a lot of drinks at your party, that is.
This will be a little demonstration of that. That was my skull! I'm so wasted!
Yeah, that's what I thought. So for those of you out there who aren't too wasted right now and can still understand English, I want to thank all of you for tuning in this week for this very special edition of my New Year's Eve special of 80sGasm with Jenn Mitchell. You can listen to archives of the show on my website at gasmswithjen.com. All you have to do is click on 80sGasm and click on 2015-16 archives and playlists. 80sGasm with Jenn Mitchell airs new shows every Wednesday night at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, but if you're naughty and you miss that the first time around, you can always catch the replay every Saturday morning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Right now, I want to raise a toast to those of you who made it through all of the dance moves and didn't hurt yourselves, to the people who stay at home and play board games, to the ones that point out how much of a dumbass you are, and to those of you who lost your dignity on school gymnasium floors just like I did back in 1985. So until next time, this is Jenn Mitchell of 80sGasm signing off and saying, I hope the music keeps hitting you in all the right places. From another killer soundtrack from 1984, here's Fire Inc. with Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young. Happy New Year, everyone.